Welcome back to Sunrise on the Hill, your morning pulse on politics. Speaker Mike Johnson has confirmed that there'll be no vote on the ACA subsidies in the House's health care bill.
Yeah, that decision has angered many moderate Republicans who are concerned about the rising cost of health care and what it means for their political futures. Joining us now to talk more about the health care debate is Princeton University's Dr. Lauren Wright. It's finals week, so we appreciate you being here, Dr. Wright. What do you make of this move from Speaker Johnson? And if you're a moderate Republican in those swing districts across the country, how are you feeling this morning?
I mean, I get the politics of it. You know, moderate Republicans want these services for their constituents because once they're enacted, they're really quite popular. The problem is Republicans and Johnson don't really have a choice because they've been saying we can't afford these subsidies for a long time. They've been saying this is a COVID era policy, and now we're past the COVID era. And in general, Republicans do have a consistent economic message that we have too many services that the government can't afford to provide. We need to shrink the size of government. And along with that comes subsidies, entitlements, and these very popular programs. And so they can either choose between being dishonest and do a total about face about their economic message, or sort of holding fast on an unpopular position, but one they have been pretty consistent on since Trump's first term.
Dr. Wright, I wanted you to hear from one of those Republicans, potentially vulnerable Republican, Congressman Mike Lawler. He was a little heated, shall we say, about not having a subsidy vote. Let's hear from him. We have a statement from him. I think it's idiotic not to have an up or down vote on this issue. It's political malpractice. I'm PO'd for the American people. This is absolute bleepity bleep. Not exactly mincing his words. He was on the House floor as well, speaking quite candidly about it. What's your reaction to those comments?
Well, Mike Lawler has a really good political weather vane. He's a Republican in New York. He understands all the different constituencies around the country. And he has a right to be really upset about this. Look, the worst option is to kick the can down the road. But if Republicans are going to vote this down, vote it down and make the case to the American public why we can't afford it. Make the case that there's a lot of fraud and malpractice with COVID era subsidies, and we can't deal with that. But Republicans have gotten so lazy, and Democrats too, but this one's on Republicans, I think, about explaining their policy positions. And you can't just say, we're not going to hold a vote on this and we're going to avoid it and hope other issues come up that will distract. So he's right. It's sort of the worst situation, that it's the worst of both worlds, essentially.
We're expected to hear from the president tonight, sort of the end of the year address. We got some jobs numbers yesterday. Unemployment up in the United States up to about 4.6%. It was 4% at the beginning of the year. What do you think Americans want to hear from the president tonight? Not just on things like affordability, but we're also wondering what's going on with Venezuela and, of course, the healthcare chat as well.
Yeah, I think he should absolutely spend a big chunk of time on the Venezuela issue and the administration's stance on all the foreign conflicts going on right now and potential conflicts. The healthcare vote, which, by the way, Trump has been very open to direct payments to Americans in the past. He's been open to spending more on healthcare. He's not a traditional conservative in this regard. And on the economy, he's sort of in between a rock and a hard place. It's his economic agenda. He was elected on enacting lower prices for Americans, on ending inflation, and it's not nearly as low as he'd like it to be. But if I had to guess, he'll probably have a few people other than himself to blame for that. The smart message would be, I feel your pain. This is not tenable. And here's what we're doing to turn the ship around. But, you know, I'll also just say very quickly, these sort of primetime addresses have not really been fruitful for Republicans. I mean, and Democrats actually in recent years, Trump included. because most Americans don't tune in like they used to. And so for Trump going to alternative media, talking to reporters off the cuff, going to meet Americans where they are in their cities, those tend to be more newsworthy events. I'll put that in quotes. But if he gets between 10 and 15 million viewers tonight, that would be a tremendous success. That's sort of what the range has been.
Let me ask you, do you expect him to stick to the script with this address, or will he go off script and maybe not say what his staff want him to say during this address?
I don't know, Judy. Sometimes he has a speech that sounds like it's off script, that's been prepared. And then sometimes he has a prepared formal set of remarks that he veers away from. So it'll be maybe one of those two. It'll either be in Trump's parlance that we're very used to, sort of provocative, or he'll veer away from the formal speech. I don't know.
All right, we got about a minute or so left. We're going to ask you about the really important topics now. Christmas trees. Not sure if you put one up, but I'm sure you go to holiday parties and you see them all over the place. Are you a real Christmas tree person or artificial Christmas tree person?
Well, okay, here's the thing. I'm a real Christmas tree person. I would always prefer to have one, but it's so much work. And I love the smell and, I would love to have one, but sadly, I have fake Christmas trees this year. I went a little crazy, but I did buy my daughter a really small Home Depot real one that she could smell and decorate. And so I'm kind of I'm in the middle on this one.
Real Christmas tree in theory, fake Christmas tree in reality.
Okay.
Yes.
What I'm hearing
Yeah,
from you.
exactly.
And then last thing we'll ask you, Ballotpedia, you can vote on the holiday cookie of the year. Sugar cookie, chocolate chip cookie, or snickerdoodle. What do you say?
Oh, it's a sugar cookie. I like the sugar cookies with the really sloppy icing. Yeah, the really bad stuff.
There you go. The stuff that really matters.
Hot take.
Exactly. Dr. Wright, thank you for your time throughout this year. We'll see you in 2026.
Yeah.
All right, still to come this morning, war on Christmas.
Why?